it's not just from four-year residential colleges either. One of the wonderful things about the book is that you talk about folks who are at commuter schools as well, folks who are at community colleges, folks who may not be having the sort of Hollywood movie college experience, but who are very much making really important transitions. And so I like that fact too. I have a lot of students who spend their first 2 years at a community college and then do their second 2 years of their four-year degree at University of Wisconsin at Madison. And they also could benefit from the Freshman Survival Guide, even in the middle of that transition.
Absolutely. And I just want to add that to that point that I actually went to a community college myself, and I worked full time at the time and then afterwards once I switched to a different college. And this is definitely a tool that would have helped me with some of the things that I was struggling with at various points, particularly the point that you made about sort of becoming integrated into the college community around you, particularly at a community college. That can be really difficult. But at the same time, I know that that's one of the things that I think ultimately led to some of my success at the time and at the school that I was at, and then later on. It really taught me the importance of forming the social connections of not only my peers, but then the professors and the lecturers around me, and sort of having that to come back to a lot of the things that you've talked about, Christine, having that why of why you're here on campus with the people around you doing the things and studying the things that you care about.
That's great to hear about your own experience. What are some of the things you intentionally found yourself did that really helped?
Yeah. So I'll say that really specifically, and I'll say it was out of necessity as well, but during my time in community college, I was taking calculus and I was taking some of these upper level calculus classes as someone who maybe was not the strongest in math at the time. And I would say it's pretty good now, but part of that is because I would spend, 15, 16 hours a week in the campus tutoring center for math. And so I would often see the people in my classes in that space. And so that really helped me form some tight-knit bonds with the people around me, the people I was taking classes with. It was also accessing that campus resource. And it really made it feel like a space that I was happy to be in. I don't think most people say, oh, I love being in the math tutoring center, but that particular space on campus was really like a delightful one. They really worked hard to form like a community. And once I spent some time there, it felt safe and comfortable being there. Whereas maybe when I first started going, both that like uncomfiness of feeling like I wasn't doing well in a particular subject, in addition to being young and just feeling judged for whatever reasons, it wasn't comfortable at first. But as soon as I spent a little bit of time in that space, I was like, oh, this is a really great space. And then truly, like when I look back on my memories, those are some of my fondest, which feels really nerdy to say, but it's true. And then when I transitioned to my four-year institution, I think what I took out of that is to sort of walk in with an unreasonable amount of confidence. And in that sense, I do mean an unreasonable amount of confidence that no one has any reason to dislike you if they don't know you yet. And so I remember my very first day of classes. I was in a pretty small, my minor, which was in international studies, it was a pretty small and tight-knit group. They were actually already a cohort at that point, more or less. And so these people actually already had all of their bonds and their connections and things like that. And so the very first day of classes, the first thing I did is I walked up to someone after class. And I was like, I really liked what you had to say in class. I thought that was really thoughtful and insightful. And that person became one of my day one friends from there on. And just even that's how I made a lot of friends when I first started at the four-year university, is I would just come up to someone after class and say, I really like what you had to say. We're taking a class together. We're reading some of the same material. They already said something that I thought was interesting. It's the easiest way to start a conversation and get integrated within your classes. It's an easy way to find a study partner, and then actually build out some actual friends and connections from there.
Sounds like
that's my concrete example.
Now you're getting your doctorate at the University of Wisconsin. So it sounds like you've had a very successful transition where you've just continued to move on.